Um, the title of this one is 1 year later. And it was exactly 1 year tomorrow that I started feeling sick. And by sick, I mean I felt off. I felt weak. It didn't happen for another 2 weeks, but I just, you just know when something's wrong, but you don't really want to admit it either, because, that's scary. I mean, you don't want to find out what's going on with you, because you don't really want to know. I mean, you want to know, but man, you just, who knows what it could be. And when I started feeling that way, and finally I went to, I don't want to say the first hospital I went to, because that was a joke, but when I finally got to Loma Linda, where I was actually taken care of, man, that's where the nightmare started. And I mean, if you go to some of my links and some of my social media, like my Twitter or, Facebook and all that stuff, Instagram, you'll see photos and videos that I post up there on YouTube of the disaster, the nightmare that was my life. And man, it's hard to think back on that sort of stuff, because right now I'm sitting up here and you guys are watching me on the screen there, and and you think this guy's fine, right? He's healthy, and I'm pretty far from healthy. I'm just not where I was, and I was paralyzed from head to toe. Had a trach right here in my throat. Had a peg tube in my stomach feeding me. And I had a disease. I have a disease called Guillain-Barré, or GBS. I actually have the chronic versions called CIDP. And they say people that the odds of getting GBS are 1 in 100,000. And the odds of getting the variant that I have, Miller-Fisher, is 1 in a million. And to go further than that, this other variant that they don't know what it's called now is like 1 in a billion. So I got lucky, right? I should be playing a lot more than I already am. But I was terrified. I was paralyzed. I was dying. I did die. I had machines keeping me alive, and my family was there for me. My wife, my kids, my mom and dad, my brother, my sister, friends of mine, James, Chris. I mean, everyone came to visit me, came to say goodbye. Actually, they were told on several occasions to come say your goodbyes, because that's it. And even after all that, and I come out of it, right? Like, I had 2 5-day rounds of one kind of treatment, IVIG, did nothing for me. 3 4-day rounds of plasmapheresis, just nothing, just downhill from there. And finally I got rituximab, which is a chemotherapy, and that started to do the trick. And my wife just showed me a video from the day that Pastor Jeff prayed over me to 5 hours later, when I was able to start to move my right eye. I was starting to move it a little. And by move it a little, I mean my eyelid was moving. Like you could just see that my eye was starting to move. It wasn't open, it was just moving. And, they say, GBS, Guillain-Barré syndrome, stands for getting better slowly. And nothing could ever be so true, because this thing, as fast as it hits you, coming back is so slow, like a snail's pace. And when I started to get better, I could barely move my eyelid, and then maybe a few days to a week later, I could move like my finger a little, just a smidge, just from barely not being paralyzed to just a smidge. It started to move, And as hard as this thing hit me, and as rare as the one is that I have, and the doctor said, the doctors told us he's a dead man. He's say your goodbyes. He's dead. And then after this treatment that is for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, it's not for CIDP. After that, when I started to get better, they said, he's not going to be the same. He's never going to walk again. He lives in a hospital bed now for life, right? For as long as his life's going to be, that's where it is. That's what he's got to, look forward to. And I just had so much anger in me still. And the anger is what got me to keep moving and keep going. And it was like, oh, that shit hurts. Good. Give me some more. I want to push it harder and harder. And I just kept going and kept going and kept going. And I didn't want people to help me. I didn't want to feel like a burden. I didn't want to feel like, I needed somebody to take care of me, to wash me, to wipe my ass, or straight cath me and run a line into my genitals to the back of my bladder and suck out my urine, which was done every 4 to 6 hours. That's what I had to look forward to. So I wasn't looking forward to it. And I couldn't, to be very honest, I couldn't figure out how I was going to kill myself, because I couldn't even move. And I know my family's not going to do that for me. None of my friends are going to do that for me. Who's going to do it? How could I find a way to have some sort of control back in my life? As short as it may be, that's the kind of shit that I was thinking when I was lying there and I was coming back to life, right? This isn't me dying. I had come to terms with that. I knew that was coming. I could feel it. I knew I was dying. And I just wanted to find a way out that was on my own terms. And thank God that didn't happen. That I didn't have control, and I couldn't move my arms and legs, and hell, I couldn't even breathe on my own. I had machines pumping air in and out of me. So for those of you that are still in that place, I understand. I understand what that feels like, that helplessness. I know what that is. And if you need to talk about it, if you're able to talk, I know when I lost my speech, or lost my power of speech, was terrible, and when I lost my eyesight, that was even worse. But I could still hear everything that was going on around me, so I could hear the way the doctors were talking to my family, and that scared me too, because I couldn't chime in. But it's a year later, and remember a little earlier I told you They said I was never going to walk. I was going to live in a hospital bed, and that was my life. And my wife was like, that's not happening. So whatever you got to do, we're taking him home. I'm going to take care of him. And we need to make that happen. That's unacceptable. We're not going to let him go to a long-term nursing facility. He's not going to go die there. He's not going to die here. I'm taking him home, and I'm going to take care of him. And so we made that happen. I got strong enough. My body came back enough. I couldn't move. I would flop around. I couldn't sit up. I had to get, strapped into place, strapped into bed, strapped into the wheelchair. Just a mess. That's the worst possible thing you could imagine happening to you. That's what I went through. I went to hell and back, straight up to hell and back. And I'm still kind of there. And I'm as fortunate as I am to be back and to be walking with a cane now. I'm still angry, and I still feel like a burden to my family, my wife. I feel isolated from them all. I don't talk to hardly anybody in my family anymore. It's like when you get out of the hospital and people think you're on, you're dying. It's like you never hear from them anymore. It's like, oh, you're good, cool. That was hard for us to deal with. I don't want to deal with it anymore. He's fine now. So you don't talk to them anymore. And you don't reach out. Everyone says, whatever you need, right? Let me know. But you don't want to reach out because you already feel like enough of a burden. So that's hard. And this isn't a boo-hoo, I feel sorry for me kind of deal at all. This is a I understand kind of thing for those of you that went through it, for those of you who are still going through it. I get it. When I came home, I was in my hospital bed downstairs, and I had my medicine chest next to me. I'm chewing up painkillers like nobody's business, staying isolated from my family. Even when I could finally, work enough with PT and my body came back enough, I could finally make it up the stairs. But I'd be up there for a week. If I did anything, I have no more energy. And I've been pushing it a lot lately, and my feet and my ankles are swollen up this big, and, more than I should have. I have to push myself enough to keep moving, but not so much to where, I can't move for a few days. So there's a fine line there. And you guys out there with GBS or CIDP, Miller Fresher, you understand what I'm saying. But even now, a year later, I still feel isolated. It's my birthday today, 42. Went out to dinner with my family and some friends, and that was nice. Went to a brewery in Redlands, and it was all good. It was like old times. Back home now, my wife's upstairs. She wants me to come upstairs, and I'm still isolated. I'm out here in the garage. I'm doing this podcast because I think it needs to be done. These things need to be said, and that's no excuse, because before I started doing this, I still kept myself isolated. I was still downstairs sleeping in my hospital bed, even though I didn't need to anymore. And it's hard. It's hard to find out what the answer is. And I sure as shit don't know what it is, but I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to just do a little better than I did yesterday. That's all I can do. But for you guys out there that are still going through this, I'm still going through this. This is for life. I get chemo every 3 months for the rest of my life, or I don't live. That's just how that is. But for those of you people with GBS or CIDP, just want to let you know I get it. And if you need somebody to talk to, you can reach out to me on any of those media platforms, YouTube, or all my emails up there on Twitter, Rolled740 Inc. You can hit me up. My phone number is up there. My email's up there. You want to leave a comment on any of these videos, by all means. My Twitter, same thing, all Rolled740 Inc. Just let me know. And I'm here for you guys. So I'm going to keep publishing these. I'm going to keep putting them out. I promise they'll get more upbeat. It's just, sometimes you're not upbeat. And that's okay too. It's okay to be where you are, wherever that is. But for those of you people, and I've talked to several people out there, as I'm a part of these support groups, GBS and Guillain Barre, CIDP, and, Foundation International is a good one. But for someone to reach back out to you quicker than you could probably get from them, there's all kinds of support group on Facebook. You can hit me up, and I know some other people that would love to help you out. So we're out here, and we understand, and we're trying to help. So let us help. Just like I had some people help me, and they still do, and I appreciate that. So I love you guys. Love yourself. Be kind. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.